It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Life will not grant you peace because you wish for it. Every morning you step onto a battlefield disguised as ordinary streets, offices, and conversations. The enemy is not an army you can see, but forces that slowly erode your command, comfort, distraction, and manipulation. If you believe you live in calm waters, you are already sinking. Power is always in motion. Others maneuver to gain an edge, to seize advantage, to claim the throne you thought was secure. The illusion of peace is the first trap. You scroll, you drift, you waste hours in trivial chatter, and you convince yourself it is harmless. Yet in those same hours, someone else sharpens their blade, studies their board, and takes your position without warning. Comfort is a silent assassin. It does not strike loudly. It lulls you into surrender before you notice you are chained. Naming the enemy is the second step. Do not confuse harmless rest with toxic indulgence. Distraction drains attention, and attention is your crown. Manipulation thrives in your blindness. From advertising designed to hook your desires, to peers who guilt you into compliance, the world constantly tugs at your strings. Machiavelli observed that men will sacrifice much, but they guard their property and control fiercely. In modern life, your property is your focus and your agency. Surrender those, and you are dethroned. The first move is to declare the truth. Life is war. You cannot approach it as a spectator, hoping fairness will protect you. A game of chess begins the moment the pieces are set, not when you decide to play. Likewise, the struggle for dominance over your own mind begins each day, whether you acknowledge it or not. Picture two paths before you. On one, you drift, ruled by impulses, prey to comfort and manipulation. On the other, you stand armed, aware, and deliberate. The choice is not abstract, it is immediate. This shift in vision changes your behavior. You do not accept endless notifications as harmless. You silence them because you guard the gates of your mind. You do not nod to every demand. You pause, weigh, and decide with clarity. Imagine being confronted by a colleague pressing for instant agreement. Weak, you yield to avoid conflict. Strong, you respond with calm firmness. I will consider this and give you my answer later. Command does not always roar. It often speaks with measured silence. Recognize the battle. Declare the enemy. Make the first move. The throne of life belongs to the one who dares to see war where others see peace. The enemy is at your gate. Your mind is your throne. Every thought, every focus, every decision determines whether you rule with authority or surrender to chaos. A ruler who cannot guard his palace loses his crown quickly, and the same law governs the territory of your mind. Control begins where attention is directed, for attention is the currency of power. What you feed with focus grows stronger. What you ignore withers. When your attention drifts to trivialities, you hand over the keys to your throne without resistance. The crown of focus is your sovereignty. In history, rulers secured loyalty and tribute, not by scattering resources, but by directing them to strategic ends. Your mental energy works the same way. Concentrate it, and you magnify strength. Scatter it, and you invite defeat. A distracted mind cannot plan, cannot strike, cannot defend. Focused attention is a fortress wall. To maintain it, you must command yourself with the same discipline as the general demands of his army. Guard your time, limit needless noise, and channel your energy where it produces results. Yet, the coup of distraction is relentless. Social media thrives on stealing your gaze second by second. Gossip entangles you in conflicts that are not yours. News cycles flood your awareness with drama designed to provoke outrage. not clarity. Each is a usurper testing the gates of your palace, not through direct attack, but through endless waves of diversion. The enemy does not need to defeat you in battle if you willingly abandon your post. Each moment surrendered to distraction is a territory lost. To rule, you must resist the pull of constant novelty. Replace endless scrolling with deliberate reading. Replace shallow chatter with silence that restores clarity. Weak, I have no time. Strong, I did not guard my time. Imagine your mind as a kingdom under siege. Without walls, intruders wander freely, seizing food, breaking order, and mocking your weakness. With walls, they meet resistance. The fortress of clarity is built through boundaries. Do not allow every voice to enter. Limit what you consume. Set hours for deep work, and retreat from noise when necessary. One clear boundary will often provoke protest. When you decline an invitation that drains your energy, some may call you distant. Instead of apologizing, you answer calmly, I am focused on priorities right now. That is not hostility, it is sovereignty. Every empire rises or falls on its ability to command itself before it commands others. The same law binds you. Focus is the crown. Distraction is the usurper. Boundaries are the walls. If you do not sit firmly on the throne of your own mind, someone else will. Rule your mind or be ruled. The first hour of your day is a battlefield. If you rise in disorder, you begin as a soldier caught unarmed in an ambush. If you rise with command, you seize the high ground before the enemy even approaches. The world often imagines power as something seized in grand speeches or decisive meetings, but true command begins at dawn. A leader who cannot master the first steps of morning will not master the hours that follow. The weapon of ritual sets the tone of the campaign. History shows that armies began each day with strict drills, because order in the morning shaped discipline in battle. Your life functions the same way. When you rise and move with deliberate structure, you establish authority over the day. Simple actions carry strategic weight. Making the bed, stretching your body, drinking water, reviewing priorities. Each is a small but symbolic act of control, like a general inspecting the ranks. You signal to yourself that chaos does not command you. Routine becomes armor. Guard it, sharpen it, and wield it as your first weapon. Yet sabotage at dawn is everywhere. The snooze button is a hidden trap. It pretends to give comfort, but steals readiness. When you allow yourself to drift back into sleep, you surrender the initiative to weakness. Chaos greets you in cluttered spaces and unplanned mornings. Notifications flood your mind before you even stand. These are ambushes laid at the edges of your camp, waiting for you to stumble into them. If you begin in disorder, you chase the day instead of leading it. Weak, I'll start when I feel ready. Strong, I start and readiness will follow. The difference is decisive. Consider a real example. A friend insists on late-night talks that spill into your morning, leaving you drained. Instead of agreeing every time, you respond with calm strength. I value our talks, but I rise early to focus. Let's connect earlier in the evening. No apology, no hostility, only boundaries. This is the commander's voice. It prevents sabotage without creating unnecessary enemies. You establish that the battlefield of your morning is not open for invasion. The war cry comes last. Every warrior knows the moment when silence breaks into declaration. Your version is simple. Set an intention. Speak it aloud if needed. State your aim for the day in clear terms. This does not summon magic, but it directs your focus like an army, aligning under its banner. Imagine two soldiers. One drifts without command, the other stands under a flag ready to move. The difference is not in strength, but in direction. Win the first hour and you dictate the rhythm of the war that follows. Lose it and you fight uphill all day. Choose ritual over chaos, defense over sabotage, clarity over drift. Begin with discipline, continue with focus, end with victory. Win the morning, win the war. Stillness is a weapon sharper than any blade. When you remain calm and composed, you unsettle those who expect noise, reaction, and movement. Machiavelli observed that rulers who revealed little held the upper hand, for silence disarms rivals more effectively than empty words. In negotiation, in argument, in conflict, the one who can hold still without panic commands the field. Silence does not mean weakness. It means you refuse to hand the enemy the advantage of knowing your position. The power of silence has been proven throughout history. Leaders who spoke sparingly often created an aura of strength. Their restraint forced others to fill the air, revealing intentions and weaknesses. When you stay silent, you make the other side uncomfortable. They scramble to guess what you think, to predict your next move, to fill the gaps with their own anxieties. Stillness shifts the burden onto them. It is a psychological strike without lifting a hand. You command space, not by force, but by presence. Noise, in contrast, exposes you. Those who overshare broadcast their plans before they are ready. They drain their authority by speaking every thought, every frustration, every intention out loud. Social media amplifies this weakness. The more you reveal online, the easier it is for others to map your habits, your triggers, your vulnerabilities. Weak. Here is everything I'm doing. Strong. You'll see the result when it arrives. Gossip works the same way. When you tell too much, you arm others with knowledge that can be turned against you. Keep your strategies behind guarded walls. Speak only what strengthens your position. The predator's pause demonstrates why restraint is so lethal. A predator does not strike the moment it sees movement. It waits, concealed, letting its prey grow careless. Then, at the chosen time, the attack is swift and decisive. Your life offers similar moments. By waiting before speaking, by delaying a decision until you have clarity, you amplify your eventual move. The pause unsettles others because they expect haste. When you refuse to be rushed, you control the tempo of the exchange. Imagine a workplace conflict. A colleague criticizes your idea sharply in a meeting, expecting you to defend yourself instantly. Instead of reacting with emotion, you pause. The room grows tense. Finally, you respond with calm authority. I hear your point. I'll address it directly after reviewing the data. In that silence, you disarm the aggression, maintain composure, and keep control. The pause became your weapon, and the conflict shifted in your favor. Stillness is not emptiness. It is disciplined restraint. It is silence chosen as strategy, not silence forced by fear. Every pause you command, every word you withhold, every moment you delay before striking builds power. Noise weakens you. Stillness sharpens you. Silence is the blade unseen. In war, hesitation kills faster than steel. Survival demands ruthless elimination of anything that weakens your command. The executioner's blade is not a tool of cruelty, but of clarity. You cannot rise if you carry dead weight in the form of toxic influences, destructive habits, and endless indecision. Every moment you tolerate these, you allow traitors to remain inside your camp. If you cling to relationships that drain you, distractions that dilute you, or choices you refuse to make, you sabotage your own throne. Command requires cuts, sharp and final. Remove what corrodes strength, and you reclaim control over your territory. The executioner's blade must first fall on habits. Scrolling aimlessly, consuming noise, avoiding decisions, all these erode your sovereignty. Weak, I'll change someday. Strong, I cut this now. The difference is decisive. Remove the indulgences that keep you numb. For every wasted hour is a soldier lost before battle begins. Remove indecision, because delay allows enemies to regroup. When you refuse to choose, you allow chaos to govern in your place. Cut swiftly, and you remind yourself that authority does not negotiate with weakness. History proves this principle. Machiavelli described how princes secured power by pruning rivals without hesitation. A ruler who allowed enemies to linger invited rebellion. Ruthless precision was not cruelty, it was survival. When a prince hesitated, rivals multiplied. When he acted decisively, threats dissolved. The lesson is timeless. Order is maintained, not by pleasing everyone, but by eliminating what destabilizes your rule. You may not command kingdoms, but you command your life. Your enemies are not rival lords, but constant temptations, voices of doubt and obligations that sap your force. Cut them before they cut you. Imagine your life as a battlefield. In the camp, soldiers wear your banner, but among them hide traitors. Each weakness, each indulgence, each toxic tie is a spy feeding the enemy. If you allow them to remain, they betray you at the moment of attack. To protect the throne, you must drag them into the open and strike. This is the hypothetical duel you must fight daily. Your opponent is not distant, it is the weakness eating at your resolve. Each time you cut it down, you strengthen your line. Each time you hesitate, you open the gates. There will be protests when you cut. Friends may accuse you of being cold when you set boundaries. Colleagues may resist when you refuse to carry their weight. In such moments, do not falter. Respond with calm authority. I cannot continue this. It does not serve my priorities. No hostility, no apology, only clarity. The executioner's blade is precise, never wild. It does not destroy for pleasure. It removes for survival. Life crowns only those who defend their territory with discipline. You cannot negotiate with sabotage. You cannot reason with poison. Weakness must be cut, or it will crush you. Eliminate, or be eliminated. Image is armor, and perception is often stronger than truth. On the battlefield, a soldier wearing polished steel looks more formidable than one who reveals bare flesh. In life, your appearance projects either strength or weakness before you speak a word. Machiavelli warned that men judge more by what they see than by what they know, and leaders who understood this gained power without lifting a sword. The armor of appearance shields you from attack by convincing rivals it is futile to strike. A confident bearing, disciplined posture, and composed expression are not vanity. They are armor that signals command. Display strength, and most enemies will not test it. The armor of appearance is not only physical, but behavioral. You project authority when you speak with measured tone, when your words are few but sharp, when your presence carries weight in silence. Weak, I hope this is acceptable. Strong, this is my decision. The words differ slightly, but the impact is worlds apart. One invites doubt, the other ends it. Perception builds barriers that protect you from challenges before they arise. This is why rulers throughout history emphasized ceremony, symbols, and presentation. They knew that power displayed discourages resistance. Yet the trap of transparency can undo you. Oversharing erodes influence. In the digital age, people broadcast their emotions, their struggles, and their private lives for all to see. Each disclosure hands others a weapon. The more they know about your weaknesses, the easier it is to exploit you. Transparency is celebrated as honesty, but excessive exposure is a strategic error. Guard your personal life with care. Share selectively, not compulsively. When others cannot map your vulnerabilities, you remain difficult to undermine. Just as a fortress without walls invites invasion, a life lived with every detail exposed cannot defend itself. Command requires discretion. The theater of power completes the mask. At times you may not feel strong, yet the role must be played until strength solidifies. A general who appears uncertain will demoralize his troops, even if his plan is sound. Likewise, in your life, you cannot afford to project collapse when leading others. This does not mean deceit. It means carrying yourself as if you already wear the crown. The act shapes reality. By standing tall, speaking clearly, and moving with certainty, you convince not only others but also yourself. The mask of command becomes internal armor, forging real strength from practiced form. Consider a workplace conflict where a manager questions your readiness for a major task. If you answer nervously, you hand them control. Instead, respond with calm resolve. I will deliver, and you'll see results. Even if doubt lingers inside, your composed appearance signals capability. The theater becomes real. As performance strengthens, confidence and results follow. In this way, the mask is not deception, but transformation. The lesson is simple. Armor your appearance with confidence. Avoid the trap of unnecessary exposure. Play the role of command until the role becomes true. In war, predators strike the weak first. In life, rivals test those who appear vulnerable, show strength, and you are left to rule without constant attack. Appear strong, and you become strong. The most dangerous enemy is not outside your walls, but inside them. Laziness, fear, and self-doubt betray you faster than any rival. Self-betrayal is the hidden assassin waiting in your chambers, and unless you strike first, it will cut you down from within. History shows that fortresses fell not only to external sieges, but to traitors who opened the gates. Your mind and your habits operate the same way. When you allow weakness to remain inside, it sabotages you before battle begins. No rival can defeat a man already conquered by himself. Self-betrayal often hides in subtle forms. It whispers that you deserve rest when no work has been done. It convinces you that waiting will create better timing when in truth it is only avoidance. It floods you with doubt before you act, so you surrender initiative. Weak, I'll try later. Strong, I will act now. The assassin thrives on delay, and every moment you hesitate gives it power. Strike by eliminating excuses before they form. Decide, move, and command yourself as firmly as a general disciplines his army. Training the killer instinct means developing relentless standards. This is not cruelty, it is clarity. If you demand less from yourself than you are capable of, you allow weakness to sit at your table. A soldier cannot carry both loyalty and betrayal, and you cannot carry both commitment and indulgence. Relentless standards create an inner culture where laziness is not tolerated. That means showing up on time, finishing tasks, and pushing past comfort. In modern life, most people lower their bar to avoid stress, but in doing so, they hand the crown to mediocrity. Raise the bar instead. Each standard you enforce is another guard posted at your gate. This instinct is trained by repetition. Every time you resist the pull of distraction, you sharpen the blade. Every time you finish what you promised yourself, you strengthen the strike. The killer instinct is not about harming others. It is about cutting down hesitation, indulgence, and weakness before they grow into rebellion inside you. Command yourself until the discipline becomes automatic. The ritual of execution is a duel staged each day. Picture two figures in your camp. One is the weak self, tired, indulgent, fearful. The other is the commanding self, focused, decisive, ruthless, with excuses. Each morning they face each other. Which one survives depends on which one you feed and which one you strike. If you let the weaker self walk free, it gathers allies of distraction and doubt. If you execute it early, the stronger self rules the camp without resistance. This duel is a metaphor, but the results are real. Each cut against weakness strengthens your throne. In conversation, this inner assassin reveals itself too. A colleague may challenge your capacity to lead a project. The weak self wants to shrink, to agree, to retreat. The stronger self answers calmly, "I am capable and I will deliver." No arrogance, only firm clarity. You silence self-doubt and project command outward. The principle is absolute. Strike the enemy inside before you face the enemy outside. Build standards that allow no betrayal. Execute hesitation, and discipline will rise in its place. Defeat yourself, and none can defeat you. Inside you live two wolves. One is weak, passive, and indulgent. The other is strong, hungry, and disciplined. The outcome of your life depends on which wolf you feed. Habits are the food, and identity is the result. Every action you repeat strengthens one side of the battle within. This is not myth, but psychological truth. What you consistently practice becomes who you are. A person who feeds distraction daily becomes distracted. A person who feeds discipline daily becomes disciplined. Identity is not declared, it is forged meal by meal, habit by habit. The psychological truth is clear. Neural pathways in the brain grow stronger through repetition, which means your habits literally shape how you think and act. What feels like identity is often only practice repeated long enough to become natural. If you indulge laziness, you train the weak wolf to dominate. If you act with discipline even when tired, you sharpen the teeth of the stronger one. Small choices create momentum. You decide which wolf grows by deciding what you do each day. Modern life, however, is built to feed weakness. Junk food floods your body, making lethargy the norm. Junk media drowns your attention, scrolling you into numbness. Junk thoughts cycle endlessly, convincing you that excuses are valid strategies. Each of these is a banquet for the weak wolf, and every time you indulge, you starve the stronger side of yourself. Weak. I deserve this comfort now. Strong. I will choose what strengthens me. Comfort becomes a leash when consumed without limit. Modern systems profit when you are distracted, addicted, and soft. If you do not guard the feast, the weak wolf will gorge itself until it rules your throne. The predator's meal is different. To feed the strong wolf, you must choose hunger over indulgence. Discipline, challenge, and effort are its food. Waking early when you want to sleep, training your body when it resists, focusing deeply when distraction tempts you, these are meals for the predator inside. Each bite sharpens its claws. The wolf of strength grows stronger only when you make it hunt. It thrives not on comfort, but on struggle. Imagine standing before two bowls, one filled with sugar and ease, the other with fire and effort. The weak wolf devours the first, leaving you soft and exposed. The strong wolf demands the second, and though the taste burns, it makes you untouchable. Picture a daily duel at your table. One wolf leans in with begging eyes, the other waits with steady focus. You decide who eats. If you continually feed distraction, gossip, and indulgence, you will live ruled by a cowardly beast. If you feed clarity, restraint, and hunger, you live ruled by a predator king. The throne inside you cannot be shared. Only one wolf can sit upon it. Guard your habits. Refuse the banquet of weakness. Serve meals only to the wolf that sharpens you. The one you feed becomes the ruler of your life. Feed strength, starve weakness. Life is not checkers played in haste. It is chess, where every move carries consequence far beyond the present moment. Each decision you make shifts the balance of power, either advancing your position or exposing you to defeat. Those who think only of the next square live as pawns, reactive and disposable. Those who think in long sequences of moves rise as strategists, anticipating threats before they appear, guiding their lives as a commander guides armies. To master the game of life, you must think beyond the moment, envisioning the chain of results each choice sets in motion. The long game requires patience and foresight. A pawn that rushes forward without calculation is easily captured, while a piece that waits and maneuvers with precision can transform into a queen. History is filled with rulers who secured their position not through reckless bursts of power, but that sustained strategy. In your own life, this means resisting the urge for instant gratification and planning with an eye on years, not minutes. You must ask, will this choice strengthen my position 5 years from now or weaken it? The strategist is not seduced by small victories if they endanger the larger war. Think long, act with intent, and claim the board piece by piece. Sacrifice is the second principle. Every chess master knows that progress often demands giving up material in the present to secure advantage in the future. Life mirrors this law. Sacrificing comfort today builds strength tomorrow. Choosing to save rather than spend, to train rather than indulge, to study rather than drift. These are deliberate sacrifices that buy influence later. Weak. I can't give this up. Strong. I choose to give this up because it strengthens me. The pawn you sacrifice may be comfort, but the piece you gain is power. Without willingness to give, you remain trapped in the opening game, forever reacting to stronger players. The checkmate vision ties it together. Imagine your life as a match already in play. Where are you on the board? Are you a pawn, moved by the will of others? Are you a knight, unpredictable but limited? Or are you the strategist, shaping the battlefield, positioning each piece to corner the king? Checkmate is not a single strike. It is the inevitable result of foresight and discipline. You must begin to see beyond immediate moves into the structure of the entire game. Picture the person you wish to become, not as fantasy but as the end game you are building move by move. In this vision, hesitation is defeat. Each wasted move allows rivals distraction, weakness, mediocrity to advance. Each deliberate move strengthens your fortress. Guard your position as though every step is irreversible, because in many cases it is. Like chess, life does not allow you to retract careless actions without cost. Play with gravity, think with distance, move with clarity. Life crowns the strategist, not the pawn. The throne belongs to those who see beyond the square in front of them. Every move is a step toward victory or defeat. Willpower is not discovered, it is forged. Like steel under fire and hammer, resilience is built through ritual. No man or woman is born unbreakable. They become unbreakable by entering the forge daily, enduring the heat, and refusing to leave until hardened. The history of great leaders shows this truth. They were not gifted with iron wills from birth. They constructed them with discipline. Soldiers rose before dawn to drill. Emperors trained themselves in restraint. Thinkers carved out hours of solitude to sharpen thought. Each ritual was a strike of the hammer, shaping raw material into armor. Without it, even the strongest vision would have collapsed. The historical forge teaches that consistency outweighs talent. Many rulers failed not from lack of opportunity, but from lack of discipline. They allowed softness to creep into their routines until they were unfit for command. By contrast, those who thrived imposed order upon themselves long before they imposed it on others. They treated each day as practice for the throne. The lesson is clear: you must forge discipline through ritual or watch your will corrode like untempered steel. In modern life, the anvil is your daily habit. Every action you repeat is a hammer blow shaping your mind. When you wake early, you strike. When you exercise discipline in your diet, you strike again. When you resist the pull of distraction and focus deeply on meaningful work, you add another blow. Over time, these strikes harden your will. Weak: I'll try when I feel motivated. Strong: I act, and motivation follows. Ritual does not depend on mood. It produces mood. Just as a blacksmith cannot wait for inspiration to hammer steel, you cannot wait for desire to build discipline. Act first, and the fire grows. The modern world, however, tempts you to abandon the forge. Endless entertainment, constant convenience, and manufactured comfort dull the edge of your will. If you surrender to these, you allow your inner metal to rust. The choice is constant: submit to comfort and grow weaker, or step into discomfort and grow stronger. Every skipped ritual is a hammer dropped. Every kept ritual is a weapon sharpened. Now imagine the fire within. Picture yourself standing in flames. At first, the heat burns, the smoke suffocates, and you want to escape. Yet if you endure, something changes. The fire no longer destroys, it transforms. You feel parts of you melting away. Fear, doubt, laziness. What remains is pure, refined steel. This is the hypothetical vision of forging yourself daily. The discomfort you endure is not punishment. It is the fire that tempers your will into unbreakable strength. This ritual of fire is not dramatic to outsiders. It may look like a simple morning routine, a strict diet, or a disciplined work session. But beneath the surface, you are at the forge. You are shaping the kind of person who cannot be bent by pressure or swayed by temptation. Guard your rituals as you would guard a weapon. Build them into your life with precision. Refuse to abandon them, for each day without them weakens the steel. Life will test you with heat and hammer, whether you choose it or not. Better to enter the forge willingly and emerge stronger. Forge yourself daily or be broken. The highest form of power is becoming untouchable. When you rise beyond reach, rivals hesitate to strike because they know attacks will fail. Your reputation becomes a fortress, stronger than walls of stone. Machiavelli observed that rulers who built fear and respect together were less vulnerable to betrayal. In the same way, your name and your actions can form armor that shields you from challenge. If your word is trusted, your discipline is visible, and your strength is consistent, others think twice before opposing you. Reputation is not decoration, it is defense. Guard it fiercely, for once broken, it rarely returns. The fortress of reputation is built through repetition. Small acts done consistently carve an image that others cannot deny. Deliver results when expected, and your reliability becomes legend. Hold composure under pressure, and you gain the aura of control. Weak: I will try. Strong: I will deliver. The difference is not only in words, but in how the world perceives your command. A fortress stands because every stone is laid with care. In the same way, every action either reinforces your armor or cracks it. Do not hand enemies stones to throw. Hand them walls they cannot climb. Yet the modern world introduces a new battlefield, the digital arena. Every action you take online builds or destroys your armor in real time. Oversharing makes you vulnerable. Careless posts stain your name, and constant exposure gives rivals endless openings. Surveillance is not a theory, it is reality. Employers, colleagues, and competitors can map your behavior through the trail you leave. To remain untouchable, you must practice discipline here as well. Share strategically, not impulsively. Protect your privacy as if it were the blueprint to your fortress. A leader who exposes every weakness online is like a king leaving his gates unlocked. Guard your digital battlefield with the same precision you guard your mind. The mythic sovereign is the final vision. Imagine yourself rising above the noise, a figure others look to but dare not strike. You are not untouchable because you have no enemies. You are untouchable because attacks cannot reach you. Your reputation shields you, your discipline elevates you, and your presence commands respect. You become less a person and more an archetype, the sovereign who embodies composure, strength, and control. People may envy you, but they cannot deny you. They may whisper, but they cannot wound you. This transformation is not theatrical. It is forged by countless deliberate choices. When others panic, you stay calm. When others boast, you remain reserved. When others expose weakness, you reveal only strength. Over time, the pattern hardens into legend. A sovereign does not need to announce himself. His presence is enough. To become untouchable, build a fortress of reputation brick by brick. Protect yourself on the digital battlefield with ruthless discretion. Step into the mythic role until your presence alone commands silence. Power is not always about striking. Often it is about standing so firm that no one dares to strike at all. Be untouchable, and you will rule. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. These words define the convergence of power. Every principle you have learned, silence, ritual, discipline, image, will, now stands together like an army awaiting your command. Alone, each is a weapon. United, they form a force that reshapes your destiny. This is not optional. Transformation is demanded. If you do not assemble your army, you will be ruled by those who have. The army assembled begins with the throne of the mind. Focus crowns you. Silence shields you. Discipline steadies you. When joined with the assassin within, the wolf of strength, the chessboard of strategy, and the forge of ritual, you possess a complete arsenal. Each weapon reinforces the other. Silence sharpens discipline. Ritual strengthens will. Strategy directs all of them toward victory. This is how sovereigns were made, not by one gift, but by uniting many. You must see yourself as a general surveying his forces, ensuring no flank is left undefended. The moment one weapon falters, the army weakens. The moment you all march together, you become nearly invincible. But the choice is stark: the throne or the chains. Rule life as sovereign, or remain ruled by enemies both within and without. Laziness, distraction, indulgence, they are rival kings who will enslave you if you bow. Modern life tempts you constantly to trade your throne for chains. Endless scrolling, wasted hours, shallow approval, weak, I'll do it later, strong, I do it now, weak, I can't say no, strong, I will not accept this. The language you choose decides whether you sit on the throne or kneel in chains. The test comes daily. When someone pressures you to compromise your priorities, you face the choice. Imagine a colleague demanding instant compliance. Instead of surrendering, you answer with calm authority. I'll give you my decision once I've reviewed the facts. No panic, no apology, only command. In that moment, you rule. The immortal archetype is the vision of what you become when these laws converge. Picture yourself as a sovereign figure rising above the battlefield of life. Rivals whisper, but they do not strike. Your silence unsettles them. Your ritual makes you unbreakable. Your image discourages attack. Your strategy positions you beyond reach. You are not untouchable because you lack enemies. You are untouchable because no attack can pierce your fortress. This is not a myth, but momentum. When you live these principles long enough, you embody them so deeply that others see not a person but a presence. Imagine yourself as a monument carved in stone. Fire has tempered you. Wolves have tested you. Battles have scarred you. Yet you stand. You do not chase respect. You command it. You do not beg for power. You radiate it. This is the eternal sovereign, the archetype of presence that outlasts the moment. Every strike you endured became proof of your resilience. Every sacrifice became a brick in your fortress. Every deliberate choice became another step on the throne. The convergence of power is not an abstract idea. It is the moment you recognize that all the weapons you've trained are meant to be wielded together. Silence without will is weakness. Discipline without image is unseen. Strategy without execution is fantasy. But fused, they crown you with command. You are not pieces scattered on the board. You are the checkmate itself. This is the decisive hour. The throne awaits, but so do the chains. You cannot stand in between. Either you rise as sovereign of your own life, or you remain a pawn to forces stronger than you. No one will hand you the crown. You seize it by assembling your army, rejecting chains, and embodying the archetype of command. Conquer yourself, and you conquer all. Without mastery, every smile hides a dagger. The world may appear friendly, but beneath handshakes and praise lie ambitions that cut the unprepared. If you cannot command yourself, you leave the gates of your kingdom unguarded. Distraction slips through. Manipulation poisons your thoughts, and rivals seize advantage. This is the final warning. Life crowns only those who rule their own mind. Without mastery, you remain prey, and predators always hunt what does not defend itself. The final reward is reserved for those who rise above this struggle. History shows that leaders who mastered themselves inspired both fear and respect. Their presence carried weight because discipline had already conquered chaos within. With mastery, you stand beyond rivalry. People may envy you, but they cannot deny your strength. Challenges arise, but they break against you like waves against stone. You no longer live reacting to others' commands. You set the rhythm, and others adjust to you. The sovereign who rules himself is already more powerful than armies without discipline. Now comes the choice, the marching orders. Imagine a throne standing before you. On one side lies the seat of command, where every decision is yours, every action deliberate, every weakness executed. On the other side lies the board where pawns shuffle endlessly, moved at the whim of stronger hands. Sit upon the throne of self-mastery, or remain a pawn in games you do not control. Weak: I will try to improve. Strong: I rule myself now. Weak: I can't control it. Strong: I will command it. The throne is not offered, it is taken by those who dare to seize it. Do not mistake this for fantasy. The throne is the daily discipline of guarding your time, your focus, your presence. Each ritual is a stone in your fortress. Each act of restraint is a wall against enemies. Each deliberate move is a crown placed on your head. The choice will not come tomorrow. It is here, in every decision you make. Your throne awaits. Claim it before another does. Rule yourself or be ruled.